Everyone, and welcome to our city. It is January 7th of 2020. Wow, I never thought I'd ever be able to be saying that, for crying out loud. 2020. every time I write a check, I was just telling Steve before, I was writing a couple checks, and I'm like, my checks are all saying 2019. I've got to consciously make myself do 2020. It's going to be a while, I'm sure. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We had a good time at our house. I always like to take off some time and spend it with family. We make all of our kids and grandkids sit down for a big family picture after we open presents before any of the kids can play with their toys. Wait for the family picture. So we can't get that over quick enough for them anyway. And then New Year's, hope everybody had a good New Year's. We always go to my brother Harry's, and the little kids get the fake champagne. It's like apple juice or apple cider or whatever it is, and do toasts with one another. So it's a good fun time. I hope all of you enjoyed your time off. Oh, here's a bunch of our girls toasting at midnight. We made it till midnight, and then we went home at 12:05, I think. We've had a lot of things go on over the last couple weeks while we didn't have our show and everybody was off celebrating with family. We did have a ribbon cutting at Hershey Lofts just last week. If you haven't been over there to see their place, it is really, really a nice place. They've redone everything. We did this ribbon cutting. It was, of course, nice outside, so we were able to do it there. But it's in the Stanley building, and they have renovated it into 15 apartments. There's a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom studio, really, really nice. I love all the colors. If you ask them, I'm sure they'll take you on a tour. I know they are already renting apartments. So welcome to the community. That will be a great addition. Next, I just wanted to share, I know we've talked about this just a bit, but Travel Magazine picks different places for people to go and visit. And Muscatine was chosen as the best river town, and we are so excited. We've always known it, but now we actually have the title. So we're very, very proud of that. And next, sadly, we had something awful happen to our community over this past holiday season. On New Year's Day, right after New Year's Day, we lost our longest ever mayor, Richard O'Brien. The services were yesterday. They were very, very nice. We were sad to say goodbye to him, but both Mayor O'Brien and Mayor Shalin have been very gracious to me. When I first got elected, they took me out to lunch a couple different times and showed me everything I needed to do or not do, and really welcomed me into their fold. And my family has always loved and appreciated both of them. So sad to say goodbye to Mayor O'Brien. Very, very glad Mayor Shalin is still here. We had some misinformation going around that we had lost Mayor Shalin also, and we are also glad to discover that that was incorrect, and she is happily still with us. So we have a couple of wonderful guests tonight, and we aren't going to waste any more time. We're going to get to talking to and welcoming Vicki Walters. She's with NAMI, which stands for the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill. Welcome, Vicki.
Thanks, Diane, for having me tonight.
You have been with NAMI for as long as I can remember. From support groups that we do at the Y, you've came and done just a variety of special workshops for our parents.
We have, and we used to actually run support groups in the basement at MCSA.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Long time ago. So,
sure.
I was trying to plug away here and get the NAMI programs in Muscatine. So, glad to be coming back and sharing with you what we're doing in the new year.
I'm so glad. So, NAMI, I thought that they were out of the Quad Cities. Is that still true?
Well, give you a little background on that.
Yeah, please do.
When I joined NAMI in 2004, we had no local affiliate here. There was a few ladies trying to get something going out of one of the churches here in Muscatine, but never really had anything. You know, of course, we're in between Iowa City and the Quad Cities, right?
Sure.
They both had affiliates. I teamed up with the Quad City area, which at the time was NAMI Scott County.
Okay.
And they're one of the oldest affiliates.
Are they really?
They are. They're over 30 years old.
Oh, that's good.
So I really had a hard time, right, trying to get things going in Muscatine
Oh, sure.
when I, threw out NAMI Scott County.
Uh-huh.
So about 5 years ago, I became a board member. We kind of all worked together to, hey, this isn't working. We became NAMI Greater Mississippi Valley. We're a tri-state affiliate, so we're actually
really?
on both sides of the river. We had a lot of folks coming over from Illinois
Well, sure.
because their closest is Peoria, Springfield.
Well, yeah.
So
this is
we're
way
Clinton
closer.
down to Muscatine, and then Henry, Rock Island, and Mercer.
Oh,
So
wow.
we've got a lot of work to do.
You do.
So
So what kind of things does NAMI do? So it's the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill.
on mental illness,
Uh-huh.
yep.
So all the different mental illness. So we're not talking. Sometimes I have to stop and remind people that we have like intellectual disabilities, which would be people that are lower functioning, for want of a better way to describe
Yeah,
it.
yep.
And then you have mental illness, which is
Yep.
more like depression, schizophrenia, bipolar. So NAMI only works with then the mentally ill.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And, like, we have a lot of brain injury, Alzheimer's, dementia. Those are not part of what we cover
Right.
in our programming.
So I would think the main ones that you probably face would be mainly depression, bipolar, anxiety, panic disorder.
Yep,
Okay.
very, very common, very
Sure,
common.
sure.
We also discuss or share a lot of information on co-occurring
Oh,
disorders,
sure.
right? Where, our loved ones are self-medicating,
Of course.
whether it be drinking, smoking, doing
They're
drugs.
depressed, so they start using
Sure,
substances to
'cause it
self-medicate, and
relieves-
then they end up with
Yeah.
substance abuse and mental
Sure,
illness.
sure. So
Very
We
common.
do cover a lot of,
You do.
and now PTSD is in our
Oh,
curriculum.
Sure it is.
So, post-traumatic stress.
Oh,
so,
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia is one that I was at a training years ago for schizophrenia that just still freaks me out to think about it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, where they put the headphones on and you're trying to, they want you to go through your day and do normal stuff, but you have these headphones on telling you that you're stupid. Or
And we
you're-
had that years ago here at the MCSA.
Yes.
And it
really gives you the
it
feeling
is.
of what it must be like for someone with
Yep,
schizophrenia. And I always also think schizophrenia is a little bit different. It has later onset. Typically, you're an adult
Later,
when you get schizophrenia.
later teens.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
And
And
very scary.
bipolar and schizophrenia symptoms can overlap.
Oh, sure.
A lot of,
Sure.
with each other, the paranoia and
Oh, yeah.
the grandiose, thoughts.
Right,
So,
right.
that's kind of why, we get frustrated with the doctors, but there's reasons why they have a hard time sometimes
Oh, sure
helping.
it is.
to
And figuring out
diagnose.
which one,
Sure.
yeah. And with bipolar, you have the behaviors where they go on spending sprees and they try to,
No
I'm going
sleep.
to change my job and I'm going to do this. And you know what? I'm fine. I got nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
I don't need these pills or medicines anymore.
Yeah.
And then they go tank and go into a depression
Yeah.
and don't do anything. So how does NAMI help people with mental illness?
So our programs, they're nationally developed. We're not making it up. They've been tried and studied, right? They work. They're no cost to the participants that go through it. They help family members and also the person that's dealing with the mental health condition to, I guess, learn what no one's ever told them, right? Is how
Sure.
I look at it. We don't teach our programs with professional or providers. We use actual folks that have that same lived experience
Oh,
as
sure.
others. So that's what makes our programs really empowering. We don't do therapy or counseling. We just offer a feast of facts for families. They come away with a huge manual full of materials that they may not comprehend all of that during
Sure.
their going through the program, but they have that manual. Because a lot of families are on that roller coaster ride, right?
yeah.
It can change sometimes from moment to moment on what they need or what they're looking for.
And they're typically support group settings, is that correct? Which I believe, I'm a huge, strong believer in the power of a support group and the peer-to-peer learning and leaning on one another and the support that you can get from knowing that other people are in the same situation.
Right. It really helps to talk to someone that's going through the same
Sure.
stuff you do.
Sure.
You really feel like you're not alone.
So do you have support groups in Muscatine right now?
Well, excited. Again, I'm so glad you had me come tonight, and hopefully our area will be hearing a lot more about NAMI again. I'm very excited. Muscatine's my hometown, has been forever.
You live here, right?
I have.
Yeah.
Many years, so I'm really excited. We received a 3-year grant from the Community Health Foundation in Muscatine. So we will be offering, and we have a couple programs coming up here next month. We have a family and friends seminar at the Musser Public Library. And then after that following, we have our Family to Family, which is for family members that have that loved one 18 or over, that they're showing signs or symptoms, or they're actually dealing with a mental health condition, you know, or they're self-medicating, right? There's something wrong there, but they don't quite know. So, you know, our programs teach the signs and symptoms of all these mental health conditions you just talked about. It goes into the whole class of biology of the brain, how it works. You know, we have different emotions as family members than our loved one does when they're showing symptoms or even becoming psychotic. We learn how to communicate with them, right, on a daily basis. We have a communication workshop, problem-solving workshop, right, trying to get the whole family involved in helping. My own personal story, I had a mother, I'm an adult child of a mother that suffered with a mental health condition for many years. As a child, I didn't know, right? I thought everything was normal. She was self-medicating with alcohol, so was committed to alcohol treatment center for many years. I took the Family to Family in 2004 and was very fortunate to get her the right diagnosis, get her on the right treatment plan. You know, NAMI doesn't endorse, you know, you need medication to stay well, but that worked for my mom. She was very relieved to get that diagnosis. Some family members aren't as fortunate, right? Their loved one, you know, we end up with a lot of our loved ones being homeless. We don't know how to help them, or they stay in that denial stage where they can or they won't help themselves. So towards the end of our programs, we kind of roll into self-care for ourselves, right? If that happens, or, you know, in our family, and, you know, even raising other children in the household too, right? So.
And if the person that is suffering from mental illness doesn't get the care that they need, then sometimes safety for the family has to be thought about too, and especially if there's other children in the home, you have to weigh everything. But I have found that sometimes it's helpful for families just to know that they're not just behaving this way because they're a bad person. But there's a medical reason. While they're sometimes just knowing that can help them endure it in a little bit different way.
You know, and I was there for many years because I didn't know any different, you know, with my mom, you know. Snap out of it, you know.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
And you know, I think especially with depression, that's something that's common. Or panic disorder, even anxiety. Just get over it. You know, just smile. You know, and
so we have a lot of self-disclosing in our classes.
I bet you do.
A lot of discussions. I mean, you know, everything's confidential. What's said there stays there, and it's just amazing the bonding that happens because those folks come into our programs and realize, wow, there's other people actually going through what I'm going through.
So this group that's starting is not going to be for just depression or just schizophrenia. It's going to be for any mental illness.
Correct.
Together.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's a combination. All of our programs are, yes.
So besides that, you also do, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
Besides that, you also do like public speaking. So I know, like I said, you come to our support groups and talk about the services that NAMI can help with. What other kinds of things?
And now I can finally share local services,
there
right?
You go.
You
yes.
know, you don't have to drive up to Quad Cities, right? So in our third year grant, we'll be hoping to establish, again, Diane, our organization is volunteer ran. As you know, right? You know, we need these people to step up and And, you know, the more we have, the less stress it is for our instructors and our facilitators,
Oh,
right?
sure.
But we're wanting to start a support group at the 1616 Cedar location.
Uh-huh.
So that's going to be for parents that have adolescents that are showing signs and symptoms that something's just not right.
Sure.
So we're hoping to expand into that and offering that on a weekly basis there at the Cedar location. And then we'll follow up with our basics education program, which is a 6-week Parents for Children.
Okay.
So it goes into a lot of which I had no idea when, you know, I had a daughter that struggled as a teen, the IEP and the school system and right, just navigating all the different things that are available.
Well, that could be a class in and of itself.
Yeah. Judicial system. It covers just record keeping and bookkeeping, keeping track, right, of records and everything as they grow up or get older. So that's our plan.
That's a big hurdle you're going to have.
Yes.
You've really bitten off a lot.
Yes.
But
yes.
oh boy,
it's exciting though.
It's going to be so nice to have those services to be here locally, though.
Is.
You know,
so I ask that everyone please share or reach out to me. You know.
What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
You can email me at education@NAMI GMV for Greater Mississippi Valley.org. We have an office. We're actually located at KSI on Kimberly, the Center for Active Seniors.
Yes.
We've been there for a couple years. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 2. But really, I mean, we have a Facebook page, NAMI Greater Mississippi Valley.
I bet you that's where people are going to go to.
Everything is listed on there.
Oh, okay.
And our website, namigmv.org. We have a calendar on there. So yeah, everything. But also at the national site, NAMI.org, there's a wealth of information just on there depending on what you're looking for or what you're needing.
You know, I bet parents when they're walking into that first IEP, I can't imagine. It must be so daunting for them and intimidating.
Yeah, and I hear so often that, you know, they're not really told to bring someone along, or so they're kind of the lone ranger, not realizing that it's not going to be a one-on-one. It's 4 or 5. Yes, I've heard a lot of stories about. So, you know, again, I had no idea. How that worked or what was available, and there again, you know, within that group setting, parents can share, right, their experiences.
Yeah, and you know, make sure you do this and make sure you. I just think that's so helpful.
Yeah.
We did a 504 with my daughter did a 504 with her daughter. Our granddaughter got diagnosed with diabetes 2 years ago, and so she has to have a 504 at school to take her insulin and different things. But Donna, my daughter, asked me, will you go with me, Mom? Because the first time she went by herself. So I went with her just to be that extra body.
Sure.
It is intimidating.
It is.
There were like 8 or 10 people from the school district.
I think it's like from each subject, right? Each teacher from each.
And then the nurse and the principal and vice principal. And that's wonderful that they, you know, bring all those resources to the table. But when you're somebody just walking in and this is brand new and you don't know what to ask or what your rights and responsibilities are.
And that's kind of what we show these parents. They can create that manual or that handbook where when they go into those meetings, they're gonna know or look like they know what's going on and be a little more better prepared.
Don't forget to ask for this and make sure you advocate for this or that, and you know, just helpful hints to help one another. So everybody doesn't have to start from scratch.
Yeah. Again, you know, with everything, you don't know what no one's told you, right?
Exactly.
So it really helps to get that education. And, you know, this is a whole different it's not your typical college course. I mean, families are coming to us traumatized, right? And don't know what to do. So it's kind of trauma model led, all of our programs, to move them through those emotions that they can be dealing with at the time.
Right.
Which again can be moment to moment or second to second. So.
And all the while you're knocking down those stereotypes of mental illness, because that's really the goal.
It is.
Is for people, you know, I heard a commercial and I don't even know, and I wouldn't even begin to plug whatever politician it was, but I heard a commercial from a politician a couple days ago saying how nice it would be for us to get to the point where saying going to your therapist or your psychologist is no more.
Just as normal.
It's just as normal as going to, the doctor for a sinus infection.
Brain's part of the body.
Exactly.
Just like everything else.
We're making small headway.
We are.
in that, aren't we?
We're getting a lot more. Yeah.
And it seems like we're learning so much more too, especially with the PTSD. I think, with the military things that we've had go on recently and
even the suicide rate, Diane.
Oh my gosh.
We're hoping, we're kind of hoping that NAMI gets in the households right before that suicide happens or before they have to call 911 or that crisis happens.
Yes.
But, for a lot of people don't know that we're out there and we're available. So, again, I thank you for, word of mouth has
pleasure.
the most power.
Yes.
So.
And, our mental health region right now is in limbo.
Yes.
But our county supervisors are fighting the good fight to try to get us, and keep us the services.
Yep.
We've made so much headway with the services that we've got now, the 800 crisis line and different things.
And we're
that
lucky
people
to have
can
Robert
access.
Young Center.
Oh, very much.
In Muscatine.
And we don't want to go backwards.
Right.
So, and I don't think we will.
No, we won't let that happen.
I think Muscatine really values the services that we've gotten.
Just
to.
the MSCA building.
MCSA building.
I went there
Yes.
a few months ago, and I was just again,
Oh,
I
yeah.
went in 2004. It was the homeless shelter, right?
Yes.
And the community knows it so much as the home, and it's a community center.
Yes.
I mean, everybody needs to really.
And they have a drop-in center now.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
I
Isn't
did.
that nice?
Food pantry, dental, vision.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
all kinds of things.
it's just getting the community to know, because we've went a long time without, right?
Oh yeah.
Letting them know that it's coming back, right?
Yep.
It's here.
And we need to serve everybody, and we all have different needs, and none are any more important or less than others.
Right.
All right.
All right.
Anything that I forgot to bring up?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, NAMI's here to stay, and
next few years anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Big shout out to the Health Support Foundation for funding NAMI, because these are services that we need, and our families are struggling and our people are struggling, and they need to have a resource that they can reach out to. And I know, Vicki, you have been so generous over the years. I know you volunteer and spend so much time doing all of this work for NAMI and coming to the Y and talking to
And I've
the
had a lot of
parents.
support here within the community, from all the agencies.
Sure.
So they've always supported it.
Yep.
Now there's just some money to help, right?
That's right.
Right, to help get
Spur
these
it
things
along.
going.
That's right.
So,
That's right. And add more to it.
right.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
all
Diane.
you do here in our
Yeah.
city. We're very, very pleased that you're here to help
You
us.
too.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to transition into our next guest, who we will get to in just a moment. But in the meantime, I have a couple save the dates. It's January and we're hitting the ground running. So the League of Women Voters, I don't know how much you all know about the League of Women Voters, but men and women are eligible to belong to League of Women Voters. They're having an open meeting at the Muscatine Arts Center from 4 to 6 coming up here, and I didn't write down the date. I don't know why I didn't write down the date. So you'll have to, if you would, go to League of Women Voters on their Facebook page and look up their next meeting that's going to be coming. They are looking for people to join and help them in their efforts on all the different things that they do. Most notably here in Muscatine, I bet all of you remember that they do like the annual forum, or not annual, thank goodness, not annual. The forums that they do before elections when candidates can come and they ask different questions to try to educate the public on the varied stances of the people that are running for office here in Muscatine. But they do a lot of other things. They have speakers come. I've been to several here recently. A couple years ago, they had a wonderful one come and talk about the water resources. It was just amazing. But they're always looking at the current topics and trying to bring those educational pieces and speakers here to Muscatine. The next thing that they are are working on as well, is Hard Won Not Done. So it's going to be the 100th anniversary of the women having the right to vote. And so what they're doing a variety of different things, this group called Hard Won, Not Done, which just means that there's more work to be done to bring women to the level where men are when it comes to voting rights and being active politically. So they have put together a program, and they're highlighting women who have made a difference in Muscatine. They are going to be having a display at the Muscatine Art Center, and you're going to be able to see different pictures and photos from notable women right here from Muscatine. I think we have a flyer on that that's going to show you some of the pictures and the dates that that's going to be on, but you can go to the Muscatine Art Center and you'll be able to see the different displays that they have coming up for Hard Won, Not Done. And next, I wanted to talk to you about Eagles and Ivories. So they have Ragtime Weekends coming up January 23rd through 26th. You know, it's always a combination of eagle watching and all of the different things that they do for the concerts. And last year they upped it. Instead of being just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, now it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I sent you a separate email, Chad, with a new poster that just came out this afternoon, actually highlighting some of the performers that's going to be happening that particular weekend. And next week on Our City, Angela Woodhouse is going to be here to talk to us about all of the different weekend happenings. And lastly, there it is, Eagles and Ivories, January 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And they have different performers every week. Every day, you're not going to want to miss it. It's great. And Angela next week is going to talk to us all about it. And of course, our very own Dave Bakke is going to be helping us with an Eagle Watch on Saturday. It should be good weather. We have went past years when it was so bloody cold you couldn't stand it, but I don't think it's going to be that bad this year. And lastly, before we get to our next guest, Kids First Pancake Breakfast. I know you all know about the Kids First Fund. This breakfast is going to be January 17th, First National Bank at the Walnut Room, 7 to 9 a.m. You can't beat a better cause than this. So it just is a fun setup to help students in Muscatine be able to participate in different events and sports, camps, all different kinds of things. We don't want any child to be left out from being able to play basketball or volleyball or soccer or go to camp because they don't have the money to buy the shoes or to pay the fees. So this fund, Kids First Fund, it's set up at United Way. It can be accessed by families to purchase those items or pay for that fee for a child to be able to be involved in sports. Who wouldn't want to donate to that? So come on down to the pancake breakfast, give an extra donation, and help kids be able to participate in things that all the other kids are doing and have a good time. Well, our next guest is here and set up and ready to go, and it's Lindsay Phillips. She's been here before. It's Big Brother, Big Sister.
Hi.
Hi, Lindsay. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
So National Mentoring Month.
Yes. January.
January. Is it January every year?
It is. Every year.
Okay. What kind of things? There's Big Brother, Big Sister. You're the director of Big Brother, Big Sister.
Yes. Yep. Muscatine County.
Yes.
Louisa. So that's our official name, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But we serve Louisa County and Cedar County as well.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you do for National Mentoring Month?
Really, we use that as an opportunity to thank all of our volunteers.
Nice.
So we'll be reaching out to them a couple times. They'll get a little token gift from us. And then just use social media to talk about the impact of mentoring and what they're doing. And then people that aren't in our program, just encouraging them to think about who mentored them in their life informally.
Oh, yeah.
And just using those avenues to remind people that that one person in your life can make a big difference that sometimes goes unnoticed or unthanked. And so
it's amazing, you know, when you think about mentoring, and it's not necessarily the formal situation of having a mentor, but we've all had those people that we've looked up to.
Yes.
That have guided us, and that we've really tried to emulate the way they've done things.
Yes.
And they've really just helped us so much. And a lot of times they probably don't even know.
Right.
So this gives you an opportunity to thank them and say, hey, you might not have known it, but you had a big impact on me.
Right. And there's a lot of times too that, I mean, forever, if you asked me, who was that one person that made a huge difference in your life? I thought, man, I can't think of someone. And I realized like how fortunate that I can't think of anyone because I think of so many.
Right.
Like I have a lot of people that influence me in different ways at different times, and I can always reflect back on that. But we know that in Muscatine and really across the United States, 1 in 3 kids or youth cannot identify one person. And so lots of research comes out and says that, you know, if you have that one person that can form a relationship with you, give you accountability, confidence building, you're more successful in life.
Sure. I always think back to the developmental assets that
Exactly.
really talk to us about, you know, having a neighbor say, hey, good to see you out there, or come on over and I'll play catch with you or what have you. And you know, having that Sunday school teacher and that gym teacher at school and the soccer coach at the Y, all of those together can, but you're right. It's
And
so
that's
sad
all
some
the
kids
Search
don't have
Institute,
any.
you know,
Yes.
and they're still just working away, and they've really focused all of those assets now onto a whole relationship building part of their research at work. And so if you ever question a relationship or why it's important to make those connections with people, going right back to the 40 developmental assets and then even narrowed down more, the Search Institute does a great job explaining
they do.
it. So,
They do.
Yeah.
And then I always think of Hillary Clinton's book too. It Takes a Village.
I haven't read it.
And really it just talks about how it does. It takes, you know, the school teacher and the neighbor and the soccer coach and all of us working together to really make that child be grandparents. You know, all of this positive supports that a kid can have.
Yes.
You know, and your program, if I've got it right, helps those children who really don't have those support systems by giving them a set mentor to work with them and help them and love them and guide them.
Right. And I think the important part is that a lot of the kids in our program have very supportive families.
Sure.
But it's that one person that's not in your family. Because, you know, mom doesn't always know everything.
Oh,
or
no. You need
dad's
it
too
from
hard and
different
nobody
sources.
understands.
Yes. You need
So
it from different sources.
you need that outside person looking in that really can feel like somebody that you can confide in.
And they're special.
Yes, exactly.
You're
and they're
special.
just yours. Yeah. So when people say, well, who's in the program, what kind of kids? And it's really a variety. It could be kids that are being raised by grandparents or kids from single parent homes, or maybe it's a child from a really large family and they need that one person that's theirs where they get to just be themselves alone.
It doesn't have to be something negative.
Right. Yes, no, and it's definitely not.
No. Everybody could do with having their own special.
Yes, and we have amazing volunteers. I think I can probably think of 5 in the last few years that I've been like, do you just want to be my big? Actually, I will hang out with you every week, because every volunteer that comes into our program is really just an amazing person. They're there for great reasons, and they represent all different demographics as well, and interests and experience levels. So there's no one way to describe who makes a great big. There's not a certain job title or level that you have to have. It's just anyone that has that desire to give back and spend an hour a week.
Sure.
One
One of the things that I love the most about Big Brother Big Sister is that you don't match people based on first come, first serve.
Right.
You match people based on, well, I love sewing and cooking and playing trivia. And this child loves sewing and cooking and playing trivia.
I love looking at all the pictures.
I know. And so they mix them by what they love.
Yes.
You wouldn't want to match somebody with that, you know, hated baseball with somebody who loved baseball.
Right. Although you do get those people that are like, I need somebody to take me out of my comfort zone, or I've been around girls forever. I'd love a little brother, you know. And so, but yes, it's hard to explain sometimes because not matching on that first come first serve basis means that we have a waiting list and nobody's weight looks the same.
Right.
So we
so that might be
definitely-
hard to understand.
It is. It is hard, and you don't know who's going to walk through the door. And so we try to say that to families, that we might not have somebody for you right now, but
There's got to be
there's
someone.
got to be someone.
Yes.
And so we try to share with our current bigs, because they're our best system for referrals. You know, if we have someone that we think they could help us find a big for, we'll reach out. And so there's Rick and Donovan, they went to Chicago, actually. You don't have to do exciting things like that, but our matches set a lot of goals together.
Do they?
And so in their case, Rick wanted to celebrate a good school year for him.
Aww.
And so he said, pick where you want to go. And he was completely shocked when he said, I want to go to a museum. And so they went big.
So
they went to
the
Chicago.
Museum of Science and Industry?
They went to the
wow.
Field Museum in Chicago. So yes, they that was a big reward for him. You know, and so there's things like that they can do. Other rewards look like we're going to visit the library.
Oh yeah,
you know,
there
which
you
is
go.
just as exciting. And some of our littles haven't gone, but yeah. So he saw the bean.
Oh sure.
But yeah, what a great experience for them.
So Big Brother Big Sister. They have the school-based mentoring and the community-based mentoring. Would you explain what the difference is?
Sure. So community-based is what it sounds like. It's in the community, and it's still about an hour a week, sometimes more, dependent on the activity. But that's where you use your common interests and things that you like to do.
Go bowling, go to the movie, whatever.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Go to the
Go
Y.
do whatever it is. All of our volunteers and littles can use the Y together. They do not have to be members.
That's nice.
So we have activities and things there for them to do if they are looking for that or can't think of something.
Sure.
We offer monthly match events to them too, currently through a partnership with 4-H in town.
Oh, nice.
So we have monthly events that they can come to as community-based volunteers. And then our school-based matches meet during the school day. So we work with the schools and teachers to come up with a time, usually non-academic or in that more heavy weighted
Free time or something.
where, yes, the student can come out of the classroom and meet with the volunteer. So they stay on school grounds. We provide activities for them there, or they can pick their own. It's self-led as much as they want it to be. And then some of them will do like a middle program where they do school-based plus, so they can still partake in those community-based activities and events.
Fun.
Yes, but it gives them more of a consistent meeting time at school.
Sure.
And sometimes as our littles get older, they rather do those community event things. So they, you know, they'll choose to do some things outside of
I
school.
bet it's like any other relationship in your life.
Yes.
It changes over time and
Yes.
and the age of the youth.
Yes.
How long do the relationships last?
We hope forever. So a lot of them actually, they last an average of about 35 months is our average in our program. Our longest match is, gosh, like, well, it was 11 years. I want to say that they're probably at like 13 or 14 years now. They started in first grade, so someone can do this math. They started in first grade, and I want to say that he's 19 or 20 now.
Oh, goodness. So he's a part of their family.
You know, it's interesting. Yes, yes. But they were school-based all through school until he graduated.
Wow.
Yes, and so now they see each other a little less often, but they go to lunch and they talk and they catch up, and you know, she's helping him through career choices or school, what is he gonna do, and all of that. So a couple years ago we started supporting matches past the age of 18.
Okay.
They used to close, but we realized that 18 is a huge transition in your life.
Oh, sure it is.
And those are the times that it matters.
Yep.
So anyone that wants the formal assistance of Big Brothers Big Sisters still, we will continue to support them until they feel like they've reached that young adulthood security and able to go on. So,
and then I bet they still hook up on their own.
Yes, and the ones that close, it's really because they're beyond us. You know,
Sure.
I always think of Big Brothers Big Sisters as a program that we hope we don't really need someday, right?
Yeah,
because
sure.
it just happens. Which most nonprofits, we hope that they're not needed someday.
Exactly.
But that's exactly how this is. I hope that someday their relationship gets to the point that they don't need us to call them and check in because they've really just become family.
Sure.
And
So you said she
Yes.
Talk to him. So we
Yes.
think in our mind that it has to be a guy and a boy,
Right.
and a woman and a girl, but that's not necessarily the case anymore.
Right. So it's up to each agency how they do it, because we are part of a national organization,
Sure.
locally, of course. But we in our program will match a big sister with a little brother, dependent on the wants and the needs of
Sure.
the child. Now, they all agree to their matches, so we would never say to a little brother, "You're going to have a big sister. That's just who we have." We would never do
No.
that. He
Sure.
he gets to choose and be part of that decision-making process. And we have had a big brother whose experience was completely with girls. He had girls of his own. He was a softball coach. Actually, his picture was the one at the Field the Field Museum.
Okay.
And so when he came, he was like, "Oh man, you could match me with a boy, but I don't know if I'd know what to do." You know, so his
Sure.
comfort was very much with girls, and we were not opposed to that or said no to that. Of course, we want everyone to be engaged, but then we ultimately, based on interest, matched him with his little brother.
Okay.
But
Oh,
so
how
we wouldn't
fun.
say no. We're not
Yeah.
opposed to those kinds of things. But
And I've heard of you doing big couples.
yes.
How
Yes.
does that
Those are
work?
some of my favorite matches.
Yeah.
So a big couple is a husband and a wife, or a partner, a spouse, and they approach the agency together. They go through our enrollment process, and then they share a little. So that little gets like a bonus big.
Oh man, doesn't he?
Right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
they get a big sister and a big brother. And they don't always have to do things as the three of them. Sometimes it's, you know, individually with one or the other, and it just, however it works out for them. But it's really nice because I love that it gives a family
sure.
perception a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit, and you go to dinner together, and you know, you get to see how another family interacts and does things. And in those cases, sometimes it does become a big family
Sure.
if there's other kids and things too. So
Our son-in-law had a little brother for years,
Yeah.
probably 10 years, but I mean, he came to all the family events just like
Yes.
everybody else in the family. Went camping with us and everything that we did. It's just they become a part of your life, and I think
Yes.
that's what's really special. So, how many big matches do you have right now?
So active right now, we have 120 matches. Wow. And what's neat about some of those is that some of them are high school bigs. So last year in 2019, we had 32 high school bigs. So they're kids too, you know, and they're using this as a community service project to
So they have
volunteer.
littles?
They have littles that they meet
Cool.
with during the school day. And so they're talking about their experiences in high school and what they're going to do post high school, and walking through all of those experiences with kids.
It teaches them volunteerism too
Yes.
while they're still in school, so it becomes a
Yes.
lifelong habit for them.
And they go through a whole enrollment process with us too, where they're doing an interview. They have to fill out their application, meet deadlines. We check references for them. We run a background check.
You guys do the max.
Exactly. So it's
Yes.
really, and we do that for all of our volunteers. But what's exciting about the high school bigs is some of them have never had a job interview or filled
Sure.
out that application, and they can start as early as sophomore. So they can, they're getting that experience, which they're going to use for the rest of their lives.
Oh, yeah.
And then that accountability that someone's counting on you and wanting you to behave yourself because you're a role model.
That's right.
And that you need to show up and make good decisions and be a person that they can look up to. And we have some really great high school bigs that,
that's
that do
so
that.
neat.
So, yes.
That is so neat. One of the things that is continual on this show when we talk, it's the use of volunteers in our community.
Yes.
All of the programs and services we do could not happen without volunteers. And I love that you are modeling and teaching for them
Yes.
as youth to be a volunteer, because we need them to just know that's what we do.
Yes. And our bigs do that too. Our bigs are there
Love it.
volunteering, and you'll probably have to cut me off because I could tell a lot of stories here. But they, most recently, bell ringing. So we
Oh,
worked with
yeah.
the Salvation Army. Jennifer in our office coordinated that so that a lot of matches could get involved in the bell
Oh, I
ringing
love
together.
that.
They do that every year. You know, I feel like there's matches on all of the fundraising that we do and other organizations do. There's a big or a little, and some that we don't even know about that are out there volunteering and doing that. We have one little that helps her big care for a lady. They go and read to her in the nursing home.
Cool.
They volunteer at the therapeutic horseback riding, cleaning stalls, and all that. So we have a lot of bigs and littles that are then giving back again.
Isn't that great?
My greatest story, if I can tell
Yes.
it, is we had a little in our program over 10 years ago who moved away, and we didn't know what happened to him. His family was transient. They were off the radar for a little while, and so his big was ultimately rematched in our program, so still involved. But last spring, I got a phone call from the little wanting to know if he could connect with his big because he wanted to tell him thank you. He is now serving our country in the Navy, and he's stationed in Virginia. And he actually has reconnected with his big now, let him know what he's been doing, and told his big, thank you for just always showing up because you taught me what hard work was and to say thank
isn't
you.
that
And I was
amazing?
like,
I know, you're like, oh my
what?
gosh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
really exciting story. And now this little is a big in Virginia. And so it's just come full circle. But
Sure.
it's funny because the big's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know if he'd remember me. And, you know, because you go once a week and
Sure.
you don't know the impact that you're making until sometimes 10 years later.
That's right.
So
That's right. Which is why we have National Mentoring Month.
exactly, so that we can tell these stories and
That's
talk
right.
about it.
That's right.
Yes.
And we can be more mindful of how we model for others.
Right.
And thank the people who helped us.
Yes. Exactly.
Because you're right, there's so many that have impacted us that we could thank a different one every day.
Right. So you think about those informal mentors, but formally in our program, so last year our program logged 11,664 volunteer hours. And that's probably a little conservative if you think about some of the other volunteering that they're doing together.
And I was working on a grant today, and I think, if I remember correctly, the value of volunteer hours, $24.59, something like that. So
I've tried to figure out which site you should use to come up with that
multiply
number, but
that
yes,
out, and
the
you're
value
talking
is-
the value is,
yes.
what do they say on that one commercial? They talk about, this much and this much, and then this
like,
much can't even be counted.
priceless?
Priceless. That's it.
Yes, a volunteer,
Priceless. There you
priceless.
go.
Yeah, so there are some of our numbers
Uh-huh.
from last year. And so that 1,438 number is, those are the support contacts that our match support are doing every year.
Because you follow up.
We follow up with them. So I think a lot of people think of our program as, we're matched now, we made a friendship, and then we're done. And it's, that's just the beginning. Our work really starts after that. You're assigned a person that really is just your support for the length of your match, and sometimes after. We just don't know about those conversations.
Sure.
So you don't just get a big, you get another person too that's there to check in with you
Maybe
monthly at first.
bounce
and then-
ideas off of.
Absolutely, they'll help you with activity planning. They're talking to parents, making sure they know resources in the community. It's like old-fashioned social work.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what do you need? I'm here to talk
Yeah.
to you, and then making those connections and referrals. And so,
Love, love, love it.
yes,
You have a fun job.
I do. I do. I have a job that can definitely make you smile, so that's pretty
Oh,
good.
you bet. You bet. You bet.
That is pretty good.
Very good. So what should we be on the lookout for National Mentoring Month? Are we going to be seeing different things come out on social media and the newspaper?
Yes, both. So you'll see some articles written, you'll see some posts, mostly social media, where we'll highlight some of those matches and their experiences, some big testimonials and what they have to say, as well as some littles. You'll see pictures from some of the added activities that we're going to do internally in our program. And then we'll start sharing some statistics about mentoring and what it does as well.
Okay. Very good.
Yes.
All right. So if people are interested in being a big, now that we've told all the wonderful things about being a big,
Yes.
or if they know of somebody who could use a big,
Yeah.
contact you at the Y.
Yep, you can call me or Kathy. Really, anyone in our office can get you started and in the door. So you would call the Y, 263-9996, and ask for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Or if you're like, yep, ready, I'm just going to do it, you can go to bbbs.org and inquire and get involved right there, and then it'll pop you into our system, and we'll be in touch with you. That's for both bigs and littles. And then other ways to support us right now at the Black Pearl Cafe.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
We, Monica there actually reached out, and they had some of our bigs and littles design coffee cups. So one of those was chosen about a month ago. So I just stopped in there and got one before I came, except for they were out of the coffee cups, which is great, because that means
That
people
means
are going
they used
and
a lot of
used
them. Yes.
Yeah. So, but I did get a drink down there, and then they're collecting donations for us as well. So
nice.
support a local
Stop
business,
at the Black Pearl.
and then you can hand in hand support Big
Oh,
Brothers.
there you go.
Yeah, there
I
it
love
is.
it.
Yeah. So that was done by Dana and Haley. So super cute.
It is.
Yeah.
Very nice. So stop in at the Black Pearl anytime
Yeah.
this month.
Yep, they'll continue collecting donations, and then enjoy and really just supporting a local business
Sure.
is good too. But otherwise, things coming up. We'll have a few different events this year. So looking forward through 2020. It's weird to say that.
I know, I can't do it.
But I kind of like it. It's got a nice little ring to it.
It does.
So we actually have always hosted Bowl for Kids' Sake. And this year, we will not be hosting Bowl for Kids' Sake for the first time in
What will you do
ever.
instead?
So we are going to, we still have our corporate supporters that are huge for us, and so they support our program all year. So we're really going to try to focus on telling them thank you all year long with a few smaller events. So one of the first ones coming up that's very much in the planning stages still. So I can't properly thank anyone that's helping us out.
You always come up with the neatest projects.
Well, we're borrowing this one a little bit and tailoring and changing. So Big Brothers Big Sisters and the youth programming at the Y are going to be doing we're calling it a little run-a-thon. And so we're going to combine nutrition and exercise with a 1-mile run, and we're going to have a lot of food along the way. So we'll stop at different vendors and have some food. So April 25th, put that in your calendars for now, and then so many more details to come.
All right. Sounds great.
That's what's first.
We'll be looking forward.
Thanks.
All right. Anything we forgot? Anything we need to talk about National Mentoring Month? Any questions? They can just email you.
Yes, absolutely. They can email me. It's lphillips@muscatiny.org, or just give us a call, stop in.
All right. Or get a hold of you through the Big Brother Big Sister Muscatine County Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I bet a lot of people do that.
I hope so.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Well, as we're closing out tonight, it's so nice to be back on our city. We have had a couple weeks off. So our guests next week are Jessica Whitman with Muscatine Rotary. We are celebrating our 100-year anniversary this year, and so there's going to be a bunch of different things going on. And I already mentioned Angela Woodhouse is going to be here to talk to us about Eagles and Ivories. Thursday night this week, we have our in-depth meeting in the council chambers upstairs, 7 o'clock. Topics are going to be the High Strength Waste Project, Miller Hill. I get a lot of calls and questions about Miller Hill, so if you're interested in that, be there on Thursday night. Also, Spring Cleanup Week, we're talking about some changes this year. So if that's something near and dear to your heart or that you don't like, be there on Thursday night. And lastly, we're going to be talking about our search for a new city administrator. Please remember that our city is shown live on Channel 5 on MockLink Cable, also on YouTube for the city and our city, and on Facebook. And we want to give a big shout out of thanks to our guests tonight, and also I wanted to end the night by just saying continued prayers and condolences for Mayor O'Brien's family. Thank you all. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you here next week on Our City.